Okay, let's get into it. I just want to go over my trading recap and the trade that I took today on Apple. I'm pretty upset. I recorded the entire live session, but there's just no audio, so I do apologize on that. That's on me. I'll be more careful moving forward. I'll make sure I'll pay attention to that. But the reason I'm upset about it is because I covered a lot today. Today was a really good educational day, but nevertheless, there's always tomorrow, so I'll make sure of that moving forward. Now, I will have the live trade of this trade that I took today on Apple at the end of this video. Just keep in mind there's no audio, so I'll break that down. Now, this is right off the pre-market plan. Coming into today, a lot of the stuff, or a lot of names, I should say, was dead smack in the middle of the range. NVIDIA, AMD, SPY, and the Qs. But I noticed Apple, we had broke above our 260.10, and we were floating around it. So I was looking for a pullback long off this 260.10. So right off our pre-market plan, and I highly recommend watching those videos, using those videos. I'm really giving free game. Utilize them, right? Like I said, the A plus pullback long is off this 253. That's the A plus pullback long on Apple. We still got this gap to fill, but nevertheless, pullback long off this. Now, this is really what I really want to break down is this is really trusting our level. This is straight downside. Bearish candle, momentum to the downside at open, strong buyer step up here, and I take my shot here. Now, what I love about this trade, and you'll see in the live trade at the end, this is now me, looking for continuation, holding my trades, sitting through a little bit of drawback, pullbacks, a little bit of drawdown, looking for that continuation, right? Not treating this as a scalp. I'm looking for this high day, reading the price action, selling into the momentum pushes, and then letting market structure tell me when to exit my trade. So that's something I really want to break down in this trade, and you'll see that in the live trading session. Now, the game plan here, because we avoided this yesterday. We were sitting above here, and I said, this is a bad RR trade. The better RR trade is to pull back to this 260.10, targeting this all-time high and this previous day high, or a pullback long to this 253. So moving forward, really tomorrow and Friday, this 253 will be the key level to watch. Now, there was something I was noticing here on Apple. Each day, we start the day very bullish, right? Friday, Monday, Tuesday, and then today, I was expecting that as well after we got this pullback long. Unfortunately, when I got in, we didn't get that continuation, but this was really the better RR trade. Entering long here, targeting this high day, targeting the all-time highs, the previous day high. This was a really good shot. So, as we know, we're just still looking for pullback longs on this name. I come into the session, and a lot of the names are sitting dead smack in the middle of the range. Apple was the only one that caught my attention, so Apple was the only thing on my close watch list. So, melt to the downside. I'm being very patient. I always say I'm not going to just, go into a trade on a falling knife. Buyers step in aggressively while the Qs is still pulling back. That's something that I like. Buyers are stepping up here. And like I said, you can see that this 260.10, it's just a pullback type of day on the market, but this 260.10 did really well defended. You can see buyers step in and really defended this up until pretty much 8 o'clock. So almost 2 hours, we have buyers defending this 260.10. So really good shot right off the pre-market plan, pull back long off the 260.10, looking for the high day and continuation. Now let's go to trade Zella here. You can see I took my shot. Super good trade. Super good trade. Uh, where is it? Yeah, I was looking for this high day. Now, see this 12,000? And you'll see this at the end of the trade. This is me really, I'm sorry, at the end of this video, me really trying to look for continuation on my plays and manage this and hold this. No longer looking for a scalp. Did my best, but right, you got to let market structure tell you when to exit. You got to know how to reprice action and whatnot. So you'll see that today. Now, you may think, where did I get this 12,000? This is what I love about TradeZella. You go to the options chart, scroll down here, top of this candle, just look to your right, you'll see that number 270.80. You type that up here. This is the number that you'll get. So I was looking for this push. We didn't get it. You can clearly see buyers tried to hold. We sold off. Now, a couple of reasons why I understand why people do not trade Apple. Like I said, I wish I had my audio in the live session. You'll be able to see this. And I'll make a video on this in the future regarding Apple. Is the reason people don't trade it is because you really don't get a bang for your buck. The reason these contracts really didn't move that much is I played one strike out of the money, and the delta on those contracts were sitting around 30. That's not good. That's pretty terrible. For those who don't know, delta is the expected, what you're going to make on the expected move. So 30 is not good. I'm really averaging. I look for, anything 45 and higher on the delta. So as we know, Apple moves very slow on the underlying. So that's why these contracts really did not move that much. And you'll see that. We ended up getting a really big momentum push and barely coming out with a little bit over 11%. Now, go to my running P&L. I was up about 2,000. Of course, I'm going to scale out 90% into that very big push and then quickly stopped out on my runners. And you'll see that in the live trading session. So I hope this makes sense. I'm sorry I wasn't able to get that live trading session up today. But right off the pre-market plan, pull back long. We are long bias on this name. Plan your trade. Trade your plan. So hope this makes sense. My entries, my exits, why I took this trade, my thesis around this trade. And keep in mind, we're coming up with these pre-market plans the day before. When the work is done, when the market is closed. That's when you're putting in the work. That's when the work is finished. When market opens, we're just executing. That's all we're doing. We're just executing. We're waiting for our place to come to us and we take our shots. So really good trade here. I'm happy with the analysis. Trust in my level. That's really what I wanted to hit on. Is this is just straight downside. And I'm ignoring that. I'm not letting that phase me. I'm not letting that scare me out of my thesis, out of my trade. As soon as I see strong buyers defend here, I take my shot. And that's all we can do. That's our only job, right? So hope this makes sense. Hope you learned something from this and then enjoy the live trade at the end of this.